The Chosen One's Guide to Quantum Jumping. Spiritual Awakening Mastery. The Time Paradox. Let me ask you a dangerous question. A question you may have asked yourself during sleepless nights, staring at the ceiling, letting the old movies of your life play out in your head. If you could turn back time, what would you change? Is there a word you wish you could take back? Is there a wrong turn that led you to your current pain? Is there someone you wish you had held on to, or someone you wish you had never met? The Matrix teaches you, do not regret. The past is dead. You cannot change it. Accept your fate. They teach you that time is an arrow that only flies forward. Once released, it cannot be retrieved, and you believed them. You carry the scars of your past like a life sentence. You let the ghosts of yesterday haunt your today. But what if I told you they lied? What if I told you that according to the latest discoveries in quantum physics, the past is not fixed? That the past, present, and future are not a straight line, but a solid block existing simultaneously. Welcome to the ultimate secret of the Chosen One. Today, we are not talking about healing in the conventional sense. We are talking about time travel. Not with a metal machine, but with the most advanced biological technology in the universe, your consciousness. In this video, I am going to hand you the map to perform quantum jumping. I will prove to you with hard science that a decision you make right now can physically alter the trajectory of an event that happened 10 years ago. This phenomenon is called retrocausality, and it is the key to escaping your karma loop. Imagine you are watching the movie of your life. You think the movie has already been filmed, but the truth is, you are not just the audience, you are the director, and you're sitting in the editing room. You have the power to cut, splice, color grade, and change the ending of old scenes. Are you ready to pick up the pen and rewrite the script of your life? Are you ready to jump to a timeline where you are no longer a victim of your history, but the architect of your future? This is not just theory, this is mastery. And to begin this jump, I need you to confirm your new identity. You are no longer a human bound by linear time. You are a time walker. Identity confirmation. Stop. Take a deep breath. Feel the weight of the past pressing on your shoulders and prepare to drop it. If you want to correct a mistake, if you want to shift your reality, send the activation signal right now. Go to the comments and write this command: I am a time walker. When you write this, you are breaking the contract with linear time. You are declaring to the universe that you are ready to step out of the illusion. Write it now. The quantum train is leaving the station. Chapter 1: The Illusion of Linear Time. To execute a quantum jump, the first thing you must do is shatter the oldest belief of humanity, the belief that time flows. Look at a clock. The second hand is moving. Tick, tock. You feel like the past is receding and the future is arriving. But what did Albert Einstein, the greatest mind of the 20th century, say? He said, the distinction between the past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. Why did he say that? Because in physics, specifically in the block universe theory, time is not a river. Time is a block of ice. The entire history of the universe, from the Big Bang to the end of days, from the moment of your birth to your final breath, already exists simultaneously in a four-dimensional structure. Imagine your life is a long film strip. All the scenes are already printed on the strip. The scene of your birth is at the beginning. The scene of you watching this video is in the middle. The scene of your ultimate success or failure is at the end. They are all there right now. Frame number 1 does not disappear when you watch frame number 2. It stays there. So what is moving? Time is not moving. The film strip is not moving. The only thing moving is the light of the projector, and that light is your consciousness. You perceive time passing because your consciousness is shifting its focus from one frame to the next, creating the illusion of continuity. Just like a cartoon, static images played in sequence create the illusion of movement. What does this mean for the chosen one? It means your past is never dead. It is still existing somewhere in the block universe, right now. The version of you that is a crying child, hurt and abandoned, is still crying right now in that frame. The version of you that is wealthy and free in the future is enjoying that freedom right now in that frame. And if the past is still there, it means you can access it. You cannot change the physical event. You cannot unbreak a glass in 3D, but you can change the energy and the meaning of that event. And in the quantum world, changing the energy is changing the reality. Most people live as victims of time. They let the light of their consciousness get stuck on old dark frames. They replay the scenes of trauma over and over. Every time they recall a painful memory, they are shining the light on that frame again, and they are making it alive. They are bringing that pain into the present. But you, the chosen one, you control the projector. You can choose where to shine the light. You can go back to an old frame, and instead of shining the light of regret, you shine the light of forgiveness. The moment you do that, the movie changes. Not just that scene, but every scene that follows it via the domino effect. This is the theoretical basis of quantum jumping. You are not going anywhere. You are simply changing the channel. But how can science prove that the present, now, can change the past, then? Sounds crazy, right? Let me take you into the laboratory. Chapter 2: The Science of Retrocausality. If you think what I just said is vague philosophy, brace yourself, because modern physics has proven this experimentally. Let's talk about the strangest phenomenon in the universe: retrocausality. Conventional logic says cause A leads to effect B. You kick the ball A, the ball flies B. The past creates the future. But in the quantum world, sometimes the effect B determines the cause A. The proof lies in the famous experiment, the delayed choice experiment by physicist John Wheeler. Visualize this to understand it simply. Imagine you shoot a photon, a particle of light, through a screen with two slits. If no one is watching, the photon behaves like a wave. It goes through both slits at the same time, like a ghost. If someone places a camera to observe it, the photon behaves like a particle. It is forced to choose either the left slit or the right slit. But John Wheeler asked a genius question. What happens if we let the photon pass through the slits first, past, and then we decide whether to turn on the camera or not, present? Logically, the photon has already passed the slits. It's done. Turning on the camera afterwards shouldn't change the past. But the results shocked the entire scientific community. When scientists decided to turn on the camera at the very last second, present, the photon in the past changed its behavior. It was as if the photon knew it would be watched in the future, and it went back in time to change how it passed through the slits. The decision of the observer in the present rewrote the history of the photon in the past. What does this mean for you? Your body, your brain, your life are made of these very quantum particles. If a tiny photon can change its past based on a present choice, so can you. Every time you make a new decision in the present, for example, choosing forgiveness instead of hate, choosing faith instead of fear, you are performing a new act of observation. And this act sends a shock wave backwards in time. It changes how the events of the past are encoded in your energy field. When you change your frequency right now, you are altering the trajectory of the causal seed in the past. You don't change the event you got fired. That event stays in the history books, but you change the quantum nature of that event. From a tragic failure, negative wave, it transforms into a destined pivot for success, positive particle. And when the nature of the past changes, your current timeline immediately shifts. You see, healing is not about trying to forget. Healing is re-observing the past through a new lens to change the result of the experiment.
Chapter 3. Memory is not a recording. We have the physics. Now, let's add the final piece, neuroscience. Because your time machine is sitting right inside your skull. It is memory. Most people think of memory like a library or a computer hard drive. You think that when an event happens, it is recorded as an MP4 video, saved in the brain, and every time you recall it, you are simply pressing play to watch the original file. That is a fatal mistake. Modern neuroscience has proven memory is not a fixed recording. Every time you recall an event, you are not retrieving the original. You are reconstructing it. This process is called reconsolidation. Imagine memory is like a Word document. Every time you open it to read, remember, your brain puts you in edit mode. You can change the color, change the emotion, change the meaning of the story. And when you close the document, stop remembering, your brain hits save. But it does not save the original. It saves the edited version. The edited version is overwritten. What does this mean? It means your memory of the past today is completely different from your memory of it 10 years ago.
It has been edited thousands of times by your current emotions. If you are depressed, you open the memory and apply a gray filter. You save the sad version. If you are happy, you open the same memory but apply a pink filter. You save the lesson version. This is the power of the chosen one. You have the right to edit your past in a literal, biological sense. Think about a past mistake that haunts you. Every time you remember it with regret, you are telling your brain, save this event with a danger and pain tag. And so the past continues to attack you. But if you apply the quantum editing technique, you go back to that memory, but this time you keep your body calm, coherence. You look at that event and say, thank you for this lesson. Because of it, I am stronger. You are inserting a new emotion, gratitude, into old data, pain. When you hit save, the physical structure of the neurons in your brain changes. The wire connecting you to that pain is cut. That past no longer has the ability to hurt you. You just performed a micro time jump. You changed the past, not the event, but the energetic imprint of it. And when the imprint changes, your future, which is built upon the past, immediately changes direction. You are not a prisoner of memory. You are the editor. And in the next part, I am going to hand you the mouse and keyboard. I will teach you the specific technique by Neville Goddard to perform a perfect revision, allowing you to wipe out trauma and rewrite the script for a new reality. Hold on to your seat. We are about to enter the practice.
Chapter 4: The Revision Method. Now that you understand that memory is malleable and the past is fluid, I am going to hand you the most powerful tool ever discovered for rewriting your timeline. It is called the pruning shears of revision. This technique was brought to the modern world by the great mystic Neville Goddard in the mid-20th century. But do not be fooled by its simplicity. This is not just positive thinking. This is quantum editing. Most people go to sleep at night dragging the heavy chains of the day behind them. If they had an argument with their spouse, they replay the argument in their head. They replay the anger. They replay the hurt words. And by doing so, what are they doing? They are telling their subconscious mind, this is my reality. Print more of this for tomorrow. And so, the loop continues. They wake up angry, and the cycle repeats. But the chosen one does something different. The chosen one never goes to sleep without cleaning the tape. Here is the revision protocol. Listen closely, because this will change your life tonight. At the end of the day, before you drift off to sleep, review the events of your day in reverse order. Find the moments that did not match your high frequency, the argument, the rejection email, the moment of fear. Do not accept them as final. In your imagination, which is the only true reality, rewrite the scene. If you had an argument, replay the scene, but this time, imagine your partner smiling. Imagine them saying, I understand you, I love you. Hear their voice clearly. Feel the relief in your chest. Feel the handshake of peace. Replay this new scene over and over again until it feels real, until it feels like a memory, until your body actually relaxes and the chemical signature of stress leaves your blood. What are you doing here? Are you lying to yourself? No, you are performing retroactive collapse. Remember the photon experiment? By changing your observation now, you change the nature of the particle then. When you revise the day, you are literally reaching back into the fourth dimension, time, and untying the knot of negative energy you created. You are neutralizing the karma before it can take root and grow into a bigger problem tomorrow. Neville Goddard said, "If you do not prune the vine of your day, the weeds of yesterday will choke the garden of tomorrow." This works for deep trauma, too. You can go back to a memory from 10 years ago, a memory of abuse, of failure, of embarrassment. Go back to that child version of you. Enter the scene. Stand between your child self and the abuser or the situation. Freeze the scene. Talk to your child self. Tell them, "It's over. I am here now. You are safe." Then rewrite the ending. Imagine the abuser disappearing. Imagine the failure turning into a standing ovation. Feel the triumph. When you do this with enough emotional intensity, your brain, via the process of reconsolidation, will literally overwrite the neural pathway of the trauma. The next time you try to recall that memory, the sting will be gone, the image will be blurry, the emotional charge will be neutral. You have successfully deleted the virus from your hard drive. And the spookiest part? The people involved in that memory might actually change their behavior towards you in the present. Because in the quantum field, when you cut the cord, they stop receiving the signal to play the villain in your movie. You free yourself, and you free them.
Chapter 5: Quantum Jumping. Rewriting the past is defense. Now let's talk offense. Let's talk about quantum jumping. What does it mean to jump? Does it mean you physically disappear and reappear in a new house with a new car? No, that is Hollywood. Real quantum jumping is much more subtle and much more profound. It is a shift in identity. According to the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, there are infinite parallel versions of Earth existing right now. There is a version of Earth where you made that investment and became a millionaire. There is a version where you married your high school crush. There is a version where you are a famous author. They are not possibilities, they are realities happening right now in a different frequency band. Just like radio stations, 98.5 FM and 101.3 FM are both broadcasting right now in the same space. You just can't hear 101.3 because your dial is tuned to 98.5. Quantum jumping is simply the act of turning the dial. But here is the catch. The dial is not on a radio. The dial is you. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. To jump to the millionaire timeline, you cannot stay in the poverty frequency. It is physically impossible to pick up FM waves with an AM receiver. So how do you jump? You must die to your old self. This is the part nobody tells you. Everyone wants the new life, but nobody wants to let go of the old story. You cannot walk through the new door carrying your old baggage. The door is too narrow. To jump, you must completely detach from your current identity. You must stop telling the story of, "I am struggling, I am lonely, I am sick."
Every time you tell that story, you anchor yourself to the old timeline. You are reaffirming your location in the multiverse. A quantum jump happens when you wake up in the morning and you decide to be a different person. Not fake it till you make it, but embodiment. You start thinking like the version of you who is already successful. You walk like them. You speak like them. You make decisions like them. If the millionaire you wouldn't worry about a $5 coffee, then you don't worry about a $5 coffee. If the healthy you wouldn't spend 3 hours scrolling on TikTok, then you don't do it. You literally act as if the shift has already occurred. When you hold this state of being consistent, not for 5 minutes, but days, weeks, your biological signature changes, your electromagnetic field changes, and the universe, which is just a giant mirror, has no choice but to reflect your new signal. Suddenly, coincidences start to happen. You meet the right person, you get the phone call, the money shows up. You have jumped. You have moved your consciousness from timeline A to timeline B. To the outside world, it looks like luck, but you know the truth. You moved your consciousness to a different track of the film reel. But be warned, the moment you try to jump, the matrix will test you. Old problems will flare up. Old exes will call you. A sudden bill will arrive. This is called the echo. It is the residual energy of your old timeline trying to pull you back. Do not react. If you react with fear, you jump back to the old timeline. If you stay indifferent, if you smile and say, "This is not my reality anymore," the echo will fade and the new reality will solidify.
Chapter 6. The Fuel. Heart-Brain Coherence. You have the map, revision. You have the destination, the new timeline. But you are missing one thing, the most important thing, the fuel. You can visualize your dream life all day long. You can make vision boards. You can say affirmations until your throat is dry. But if you do not have energy, you are going nowhere. It's like sitting in a Ferrari with no gas. You can honk the horn, but the car won't move. What is the fuel of the quantum jumper? It is elevated emotion. Most people try to create from a state of lack. They want the money because they feel poor. They want the love because they feel lonely. Lack is a low-frequency emotion. It carries very little energy. It cannot bridge the gap between worlds. To jump timelines, you need a massive surge of energy to break the gravitational pull of your current reality. This energy comes from heart-brain coherence. The heart is not just a pump. It is the strongest magnetic generator in your body. It produces an electromagnetic field 5,000 times stronger than the brain. When you are stressed, angry, or fearful, your heart beats in a chaotic rhythm. Your magnetic field shrinks. You are in survival mode. You are powerless. But when you cultivate emotions like gratitude, joy, awe, and love, your heart rhythm becomes smooth and orderly. This is coherence. In this state, your heart and brain synchronize. Your magnetic field expands up to 3 meters around your body. You become a walking broadcasting station. The formula for a jump is clear intention, brain, plus elevated emotion, heart, equals new reality.
you must combine the thought of the future with the feeling of the future. You cannot just think about being wealthy, you must feel the gratitude of wealth before the wealth arrives. This is the secret key. The body does not know the difference between an experience in reality and an experience created by emotion. If you can feel the joy of your wedding day while sitting alone in your room, your body believes it is happening. And because your body believes it, it sends a signal to the quantum field, "This is real." And the quantum field replies, "Okay, let's materialize it." Many of you fail to jump because you are waiting for the external world to change so you can feel good. I'll be happy when I get the job. I'll be grateful when I find the partner. That is the Newtonian model of cause and effect. That is the victim model. The chosen one operates by the quantum model, cause and effect. You feel good first, you give thanks first, and then the reality follows. You must learn to generate this fuel on demand. You don't need a reason to be happy. You can just choose to be happy. When you master this, you have unlimited fuel. You can junk timelines whenever you want.
Chapter 7. The Void State, SATS. So when is the best time to perform this jump? Can you do it while driving? While washing dishes? You can try, but the resistance of the 3D world is strong. There is a secret back door into the matrix where the walls between realities are thin, a time when your analytical mind goes to sleep and your subconscious mind is wide open. Neville Goddard called it SATS, state akin to sleep. Scientists call it the hypnagogic state or the theta brainwave state. It happens twice a day naturally, right before you fall asleep, right after you wake up. In this twilight zone, you are not fully awake, but you are not fully asleep. You are floating in the void. In this state, the guard dog of your conscious mind, logic, doubt, fear, is off duty. The door to the command center of your subconscious is left unlocked. Whatever you plant in the void grows instantly. This is why falling asleep watching the news or worrying about bills is the most dangerous thing you can do. You are programming nightmares into your timeline. The chosen one treats the 10 minutes before sleep as a sacred ritual. Here is how to enter the void to jump. Step 1. Lie down, close your eyes, induce a deep relaxation. Do not move your body. Let your body fall asleep while your mind stays awake. Step 2. When you feel that floating, drifty sensation, you are in theta. The door is open. Step 3. Bring up a short scene, 5 to 10 seconds, that implies your wish is already fulfilled. Do not visualize the process, how you get there. Visualize the end result. If you want a promotion, visualize your boss shaking your hand and saying, "Congratulations." If you want health, visualize yourself running on the beach, feeling strong. Step 5. Loop this scene over and over like a GIF. Add sensory details. What does the boss's hand feel like? Is it warm? What does the ocean smell like? Make it realer than the bed you are lying on. Step 6. Fall asleep in the scene.
Do not step out of the scene to go to sleep. Let the scene be the last thing in your consciousness as you cross the bridge into slumber. When you do this, you are giving your subconscious a direct command to build this reality while you sleep. You will wake up in a different world. Maybe the furniture looks the same, but the energy structure has shifted. You have moved. And in a matter of days or weeks, the 3D world will rearrange itself to match the blueprint you planted in the void. This is how masters create, not by struggle, but by planting seeds in the silence. But be careful. The void creates whatever you bring into it. If you bring fear, it will create monsters. If you bring love, it will create paradise. The choice, Time Walker, is yours.
Chapter 8: Signs of a Successful Jump. You have done the work. You have revised the past. You have entered the void and planted the seed of the new timeline. Now, you wake up and you ask, did it work? Am I still in the old reality, or have I moved? Listen closely, Time Walker, because nobody tells you this part. When you successfully jump timelines, the transition is rarely smooth. It is glitchy. You are moving your consciousness from one frequency band to another. The matrix needs time to render the new graphics. Here are the 4 undeniable signs that you have successfully shifted into a new reality. If you experience these, do not panic. Celebrate. You have arrived. Sign 1: the personal Mandela effect. You will notice small, illogical changes in your physical environment. You put your keys on the table, turn around, and they are gone. You find them in the kitchen. You swear a building used to be red, but now it is blue. You remember a conversation with a friend clearly, but when you bring it up, they look at you confused and say, "That never happened." Do not let them gaslight you, and do not think you are going crazy. This is timeline residue. In your old timeline, that conversation did happen. In this new timeline, it didn't. Your memory is holding on to data from timeline A, while your body is walking in timeline B. These glitches are proof that you have disconnected from the collective consensus reality. You are floating. Sign 2: disassociation and derealization. For a few days after a big jump, you might feel dreamlike. You look at your hands and they don't feel like yours. You walk down the street and the world looks 2D, like a movie set or a cardboard background. You feel emotionally detached from the people you love. This is scary for the ego. The ego screams, "I'm losing my mind." But the soul knows you are recalibrating. You have unplugged from the old server, but you haven't fully downloaded the new avatar yet. You are in the loading state. Stay calm, ground yourself, drink water. It will pass as your vibration stabilizes. Sign 3: sudden change in others. This is the most magical sign. The people in your life, who may have been difficult, abusive, or cold, suddenly change their personality overnight.
Your boss, who always yells, suddenly brings you coffee and asks about your weekend. Your ex, who blocked you, suddenly unblocks you or calls you out of the blue. Why? Because you changed the script. They are just actors in your movie. When you changed your internal frequency, the director, they had to read the new lines you wrote for them. They are mirroring your new state of worthiness and love. Sign 4. The loss of interest. Suddenly, the things that used to trigger you don't matter. The TV shows you used to watch feel boring. The gossip you used to participate in feels repulsive. The food you used to eat tastes like ash. You are literally vibrating out of your old life. If you see these signs, know this: the jump is complete. But now comes the hardest part: staying there, because the old timeline has one final trap to pull you back.
Chapter 9. The Trap of Nostalgia. You have jumped. You are standing in the golden timeline. But the old timeline is jealous. It wants its energy source, you, back. And it uses a very subtle, very sweet weapon to hook you: nostalgia. You start thinking, maybe it wasn't so bad. I miss my old friends, even though they were toxic. I wonder what my ex is doing right now. Stop. This is a code red warning. Do you know the story of Lot's wife from the ancient texts? The angels led Lot and his family out of the city of Sodom before it was destroyed. The instruction was simple: run for your life and do not look back. But Lot's wife, she couldn't resist. She looked back, and she turned into a pillar of salt. This is not just a myth, it is a metaphysical law. Salt represents crystallization, being frozen in time. When you look back at your old timeline with longing or regret, you freeze your evolution. You crystallize yourself back into the old pattern. Regret is a tether. Every time you say, "I should have done this," or "Why did that happen to me?" you are throwing a grappling hook back into the past. And since the past is heavy, it drags you backwards. You snap back into the old reality like a rubber band. To drive a car forward, you must be ruthless with your focus. You must be willing to let the old version of you die completely. You cannot keep the old habits and have the new life. You cannot keep the old victim story and have the new victory. You must grieve the old you, bury them, and walk away without turning your head. This is why Jesus said, "Let the dead bury their dead." It sounds harsh, but it is quantum physics. Dead timelines have no life force unless you feed them with your attention. Starve the old reality, feed the new one. Whenever a memory of the old timeline comes up, a moment of guilt, a moment of "I miss the chaos," recognize it as a trap. Say to it, "Thank you for the lesson. You are dead to me now," and turn your face towards the sun.
Chapter 10. The Ultimate Protocol. We have covered the theory, the science, the technique, and the warnings. Now I am going to package this into a simple, actionable protocol. This is your daily ritual. This is how you master the art of quantum jumping. Do not complicate it. The magic is in the consistency. The 4-step quantum jump protocol. Step 1. Relax. Induce the alpha-theta state. You cannot jump when you are stressed, beta waves. Your analytical mind blocks the door. Sit or lie down. Close your eyes. Use the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Do this until you feel your body dissolve, until you can't feel your hands or feet. You are now in the quantum field. Step 2. Visualize. Select the target timeline. Bring up the holographic scene of your wish fulfilled. Remember, not the middle, the end. See the handshake. See the ring on your finger. See the number in your bank account. Make the image sharp, bright, HD. You are locating the coordinate in the multiverse. Step 3. Feel. Generate the magnetic charge. This is the engine. Add the sensory data. Touch the table. Smell the perfume. Hear the voice. And most importantly, generate the emotion. What would you feel if it were true right now? Relief? Joy? Excitement? Explode that feeling in your heart. Let it wash over you like a wave. Stay in this feeling until you believe it is real, until you are smiling involuntarily. Step 4. Let go. Sever the cord. This is where most people fail. Open your eyes, get up, and drop it. Do not wonder when will it happen. Do not check for signs. Trust that the order has been placed. The moment you start looking for it, where is it? You are confirming that you don't have it. You jump back to the lack timeline. Walk your day with the quiet confidence of someone who already has it. That is the secret. The practice. Let's do a micro jump right now, together. I want to anchor this feeling in your cells. Sit up straight. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Relax your shoulders. Now, think of one thing you want to change or achieve. Just one. See the final result. See yourself smiling. It is done. Now, feel the relief. Say to yourself, "Thank God it is finally done." Feel that weight lifting off your chest. Hold that vibration. 3, 2, 1. Open your eyes. It is done. You have planted the seed. Now, do not dig it up to see if it's growing. Let the universe do its work. The final truth and the warning. You have now been given the keys to the kingdom. You understand that time is an illusion. You understand that the past is editable. You understand that the future is a menu of infinite options waiting for your order. You are no longer a victim of your history. You are a time walker. Whatever mistakes you made, they are forgiven. Whatever trauma you suffered, it is healed.
Whatever you lost can be restored in a higher form. Your slate is clean. The pen is in your hand. Write a story that is worthy of your soul. But before I let you go, I must give you one final urgent warning. Now that you know how to manipulate reality, now that you possess the power to jump timelines and manifest your desires, you are entering a new level of the game. And new levels bring new devils. There is a trap waiting for the chosen one after they awaken. It is a trap more dangerous than the Matrix itself, because it disguises itself as spirituality. It is the trap of the spiritual ego, the trap of getting lost in the powers, the siddhis, the manifestation games, and forgetting the ultimate goal. The Matrix knows it cannot stop you from waking up, so it tries to distract you with your own spiritual power. It tries to turn you into a magician instead of a master. How do you escape this invisible prison? How do you ensure that your power serves the light and not the ego? And what is the final test you must pass before you are allowed to exit the reincarnation cycle? I will reveal this dark secret in the next transmission. Next video, Spiritual Awakening. Warning, the chosen one must escape this matrix trap now. You do not want to miss that. It is the safety manual for your soul.
The declaration. Now, to seal this jump, to lock in this new timeline forever, I want you to leave your mark in the sands of time. Go to the comments and declare your shift. Write these words: timeline shifted. Do not just type it, command it. Let the universe know that you have moved. You are not where you used to be. You are here in the golden timeline. I will see you in the next level. Walk in power, Time Walker.